Have you ever completely destroyed a synthetic wig like I did? Or perhaps you have a straight style and you just want to bring some life back into it. Today I'm going to show you how to curl a non-heat friendly synthetic wig using America's favorite appliance, the Instant Pot. If you don't have an Instant Pot, that's totally okay. You can accomplish the exact same thing using a pot of very hot or boiling water. Welcome to the Wiggy Woman. I am so excited to be bringing you part 2 of my series on how to restore a damaged wig. So this here is my Sarah after I straightened her in my part 1 video that you'll find right here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put some curls back into Sarah because Sarah has always been my special occasion, very amped up glam look, and I want those curls back. This is something you can do with any non-heat friendly synthetic wig that maybe has gone flat on you, or if you want to completely change the style, you can do what I did in the first video, remove all of the style out of it, and then start over, start fresh, and kind of curl it yourself. Before we get too far into it, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell so that you never miss a wig review or tutorial like this one that's posted weekly. I also have been loving it when you guys leave comments to let me know where you are watching from. So leave me a note down below just to say hi, and let's get to it. Today when we're curling this synthetic wig using hot water, I'm going to start with my non-HD synthetic wig, and I'm going to use Curlformers to form the actual shape of the curls. And then I'm going to be using an Instant Pot with the steam feature, or you can use a pot of boiling water. And I'm going to want a wig stand or a styling head to allow the wig to dry. But we're going to style this wig today without a lot of crazy styling products, without a lot of tools, just stuff that you might have lying around the house with one exception, Curlformers. You can use any kind of curling rod or foam roller if you want, but I prefer the Curlformers because they give a very uniform shape, and the look that I'm trying to accomplish is something that is very similar to what this Sarah here looked like before I straightened her. So when she was straight out of the box, she looked like this, and then I damaged her and she looked like that. And if you saw my last video, I completely straightened my Sarah, and this is what I'm working with now. So I'm going to show you how to add curls back into this particular style, and I want to have more of a barrel curl look. If you are going for a different style, a different curler would be completely fine. If you don't have curlers at all, that's okay. Because what you can do is you can actually just French braid or braid this hair, and you can accomplish a very, very beautiful beachy wave look with no tools at all. Since this is not a heat-friendly synthetic wig, I can't use regular styling tools like a curling iron. Curling a synthetic wig in hot water allows us to create steam, which is safe for wigs because a dry heat will burn or scorch the fibers. I will say that the proper way to add curls to a synthetic wig that's not heat friendly is to use a steamer that's designed for synthetic wigs. If you don't have a steamer that's designed for synthetic wigs, you can also use a steamer for clothing. But if you don't have either of those things, and I don't, then you can also use anything that's gonna create steam. So in my case, I'm gonna be using the steam feature on an Instant Pot, or you can also use boiling water that, would essentially be the same temperature as steam. These Curlformers are going to allow me to style the wig while it is dry. This particular set comes with a wand, and it comes with 2 different directions of barrel curls, one that is clockwise and the other that is counterclockwise. Before starting out, you want to plan out which direction you want your curls to go, away from the face or towards the face. In my case, I want to start on this side with the curls going away from the face, and I'm going to use this clockwise roller. I've inserted the wand into the roller, and I'm going to grab a piece of hair that is about the width of the hook. So you'll see that you don't want to have the hair bunching up at all. It needs to be completely flat inside the roller. So do not grab too much hair, only grab enough so that when it's inside the wand, it lays completely flat and it pulls through very smoothly and seamlessly. If the curl former stretches out like this one did, it's very simple. Just roll it back up with your hand and you'll have a perfect little curl. You'll see that this wig is totally detangled and combed out. There are no kinks in this hair because if I am going to be curling this wig in hot water, those kinks are also going to be set when I steam it. So that's why you also need to be very careful not to pull too much hair through or have any kind of bend when you're doing this process. It needs to be very, very flat because any kind of shape that you put into the hair right now is going to be set when we're curling this wig in hot water. I don't want any bends in the lower hair trying to reach up to the higher hair. So I am going to section out the hair into 4 different sections. 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. I am going to be using both directions of curls because I always want the curls going away from the face. So I'm going to use the tag as a guide here so I know exactly where the middle of the back is, and that's going to be where I transition from the clockwise to the counterclockwise curlers. The reason you need to be careful not to add any extra bends is that when we apply the hot water to this synthetic wig, we are essentially going to be melting these fibers and reforming them into whatever shape that they are in. Once we apply some cool temperatures to it, the style is going to be pretty lock set. And now here we've reached the middle of the back, and this is where now I'm going to be transitioning to the counterclockwise roller. If the roller gets stuck like this one does, do not force it. You definitely want to stop, regroup, comb out the hair, make sure that there's no tangles, and try again, because any little bend or any tangle that you get from trying to force it through is going to be part of what gets set when we heat this wig. So it's better to redo it now than to have a funky little kink in the back of your wig. You'll notice on this bottom layer, I am starting the curls towards the bottom of the cap. Again, I do not want to bend any of those lower fibers up into a curl. I want to start at the bottom. Plus, I like a little bit of a sleeker style, and so this will allow the hairs on the top to lay much flatter on top of those curls. Even when I get to the top layer, I am going for a beachy wave look, so I am going to start a little bit of a ways down the hair instead of going all the way from the top. If you want a more amped up glam style and you want the curls all the way to the top, you can definitely do that here. So here we are at the end, and this one pack of Curlformers was plenty enough to do a relatively long wig all the way through. You'll notice that I have all of the curls. They're starting around the same point at the wig. So I have a pretty level starting point for all of the curls on both sides. Remember, I did section the hair, so on the bottom, you want to make sure that those curls are level as well. We want to make sure that this is just going to have a very nice and very consistent look to it when these curls are formed and dry. So now it's time to add the hot water. In my case, I'm going to be using an Instant Pot because it gives me a little bit more time to work with the hair to make sure it's in exactly the right position. But again, you could use just plain old boiling water and you would do it for exactly the same amount of time. I put my rack in and I add some water, and I'm going to now add the wig, and I'm going to try to keep these barrel curls vertical as much as possible because what I'm trying to do here is really protect the cap and the top of the wig to make sure it stays in the proper shape and doesn't get misformed. And then I'm going to steam it for 10 minutes without pressure, or you can boil for 10 minutes as well. All right, now that I'm going to take it out, I'm going to hit it with some cold water because I want to essentially set that melted plastic in the shape that I want. So I'm just going to bring it over to the sink and I'm going to run cool running water over it. Once it feels like everything is cool, I can take the next step. I am going to be removing the Curlformers here because the kind of style that I want is a more elongated, looser wave. But if you want a more intact curl, you could let it dry with the Curlformers still on. It's just going to take a little bit longer.
And now I'm going to let it dry completely.
So here she is after I have recurled her. While I was letting the wig dry, I did continue to finger comb these curls a little bit. So I was just using my fingers and trying to break up these curls as much as possible. And I did it while it was still just the tiniest bit wet because I wanted the weight of the water to provide a little bit extra gravity to help pull these curls down and elongate them into more of a longer beachy wave barrel curl instead of that more intact curl that I got from the Curlformers themselves. I also treated this wig like it was straight out of the box, even though I know that this was not straight out of the box, but it was essentially a freshly brand new styled wig. So what I did was I put my part line back in, and I also gave the wig a really good shake because I wanted to put some force on those curls and draw them out a little bit longer, but I also wanted to give these curls a little bit more volume. While I'm not a hairstylist, and like I said in my first video, I'm not Jon Renau. I don't know how he makes these big, beautiful, beachy waves. I am very happy with this restoration. Leave me a note in the comments and let me know which restoration you prefer. Did you like these straightened styles, or did you like it better with these curls added back in? I did put a link in the description to all of the products that I use here today, with the exception of the Instant Pot. And of course, as always, if you like this video, please, please, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell so that you never miss a wig review or tutorial like this one that's posted weekly. Again, if you wanted to see how I straightened my Sarah in the first place, you can check out this video right here. I really hope that you are as happy with your restoration as I am with mine. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.